Have you ever tried to create something and then judge yourself before you even began? Or maybe there was something that you desired to say, but you stopped yourself from the fear of how it could be received. What about getting the urge to dance or sing? But then that critical voice in your head got in the way of allowing you to express yourself freely. We've all had moments like this, where we say, I wish I could do that. I wish I could express myself that way, but I'm scared. I'm embarrassed, or I'm no good. Criticism, judgment, and fear are all blocks that I've had to learn how to build a relationship with so that they no longer stopped me from not just doing the things that I desired to do, but actually being the version of me that felt most true and alive. Hi, my name is Rayanne, and I help people build a relationship with their emotional blocks so that it actually empowers their creative expression and also leads to their personal transformation. Now, when I was a child, expressing myself boldly came very naturally. It was no problem. I was called extra for being the loudest in the room, making up a song or a performance, and reeling in my little brother as my backup dancer. But when I was alone, I was also writing poetry. I was spilling my heart out into my journal, and I was expressing myself painting with colors and drawing. My favorite was playing piano. My mom had to convince me to practice at first, but when I really started loving it, it was there for me in some tough moments as a teenager. When I felt voiceless, it was a way for my emotions to actually speak and feel heard. When I went to university, though, I said goodbye creative expression and hello to hustle, hard work, and high achievement. I did everything I was supposed to. Graduate with a double degree, get my master's of marketing, travel internationally for work and business case competitions, and even create a whole high-earning global corporate marketing career for myself. Everything my parents wanted for me and more. Outside, it looked like I had it all. Inside, I was deeply anxious, depressed, suffering panic attacks from high workload, and I couldn't even recognize myself in the mirror. I had joined a staggering statistic of 1 in 10 Canadians who suffer from high anxiety and depression at any given time. More than that, I had joined the 63% of Canadian youth and 71% of Canadian women under 30 who self-report struggling with anxiety. I just remember feeling like I didn't know how to get out of that. I tried meditating, I tried working out, nothing really changed. But then I found something called Abstract. It was a docuseries that highlighted how artists around the world use the creative process to face their mental blocks and actually solve their problems. So I thought, okay, let me try. It might make me feel a little bit better. It did a lot more than that. When I doodled, it felt like this meditative trance was coming over me. And in high anxiety, writing in my journal actually brought me clarity and calm. So I didn't know what was happening, but it felt magical and very therapeutic. And I said, yes, this is how I get back to myself. I'll do what I did as a child. I'll freestyle songs based on how I'm feeling. Cue, panic, judgment, criticism, all of it, all of it. I could hear that voice in my head go, girl, you can't sing. You're gonna embarrass yourself, and they're not gonna love you. It wasn't until I had another panic attack about 1 year later that everything changed. This one felt so visceral, I felt physical pain all over my stomach. And in a moment of desperation and helplessness, I sang. I sang to my body as if I was soothing a crying baby. That's how helpless I felt. And to my amazement, the tension actually started to relieve. And I thought, what is going on? But that was all I needed to devote myself to learn and research what this was all about. I found studies that showed that only 45 minutes of creative activity was needed to reduce anxiety by 75%, that singing and humming reduces cortisol and heart rate, and that there was a form of trauma therapy with a 92% success rate called internal family systems that was all based off of just creating safety for those parts of yourself that feel suppressed. So it wasn't about what I was doing, it was how I was doing it that was creating this change. I was moving through my blocks by seeing them as past versions of myself that were hurt, that were voiceless, and that just were very protective of me. So instead of trying to get rid of them, I wanted a relationship, and I wanted them to feel safe and loved. So I developed a method. When you feel that block, Create an intention to create a genuine relationship with it. Then just give it safety through something like a creative activity, a creative expression. And then just be the loving witness. By doing this consistently, those same blocks that used to hold me back became the very gateway to experiencing my full authenticity. So the next time that you feel scared to express yourself, I hope you'll remember my story, because that might just be the moment that you unblock the you you've always been waiting to be. Thank you.